Good evening. It is 5:55 p.m. 5:56 p.m. February 6th, 2025. My YouTube channel's doing good. Let's see. I have Hero Wars. No one cares about that. I could show you deviant art, but it's kind of, how shall we say, not rated PG. I have my tripod. I dug it out of the car, so I can pull that out when I need it. There was some beautiful scenery outside that I wanted to show you. Here's Pooh Bear. We'll bring him along. How's that? And here's my son, Chip. Alright. I've had him for a long time. He has a flesh wound. He needs to be sewn up. I have my bathrobe. Oh, we still get some of the scenery. That's really good. We have a nice sunset. Okay, here's some scenery. Glad I got it just in time. I wanted that silhouette. That's really pretty. And stars actually come out at night because there's not a lot of light pollution out here. An hour and a half east of Reno, Nevada. The cabin looks great here. So if I hold really still, looks like a painting. That's pretty cool. That's cabin number 5. Let's take a look at this. We haven't done that. The lighting is really nice right now. I guess you would call this a thrasher, a wheat thrasher, with all those spikes. I don't know how old this is. There's a seat. I am no expert on farm equipment, that's for sure. At one point this was used. So this would be a horse-drawn device. I would guess. I don't know anything about anything. There's cabin number 6 where we're staying. Okay. Amber's in there. She's not crazy about being in my videos. She'd be in them if I really, truly asked her. That's a beautiful shot. So my YouTube channel is doing better than it ever has in 17 years of doing it. Makes me feel good. Makes all those years of making videos seem to pay off. Oh, I have my phone in here. Oh, there's Amber right there. All right. She just does what she wants. We let each other just be ourselves. Each of us follows their own paths. Okay. Let's get some light from the phone. Okay. Let's see. Flashlight. Battery saver on. Flashlight on. Okay, there's that. I like to use the visor up here to hold the phone. So I've never put the light in this spot, so we'll see how it looks. Okay, I've got Pooh Bear here. And I've got Tigger. He's got a bad neck. He needs a neck brace. I could make that easily with just a piece of paper and tape. My dad had a neck break once. His car was hit from the back. I don't know if anything was really wrong with his neck. He wore a neck brace for a couple of weeks, I remember. Was he trying to sue the other guy? If he wasn't even really hurt? I don't know. My father needed money. I don't know if it was a legitimate injury or not. I never found that out. He was fine. He never needed a neck brace ever again. So there was no need to sue anybody. That was a long time ago. The late 70s when that happened. So my science fiction epic is called Space Journey Battles. It's a parody of all things science fiction. The two main things I make fun of in it is Star Wars and Star Trek. Both of those franchises have laughable things going. It's not hard science. None of that stuff would work in actuality. There's no sound effects in a TIE fighter when it makes a right turn. You wouldn't even hear noises in the cockpit. Maybe you would. Yes, you would. Well, if there's oxygen there. Sound needs oxygen to travel through. There's no air in space. In Spaceballs, one of my favorite moments is when they're flying around in the RV and there's a ladder and they climb down it and it's outer space. That's just really funny. I've come to appreciate Spaceballs. So I'm doing well on YouTube. I'm getting hits. But I make videos for entertainment and educational purposes. So I try and provide some information. I read this entire comic book of Walt Disney's Showcase featuring Moby Duck. The ghost ship of Captain Crook. All the stories in here are really bad. They're not good for kids. I mean, it just sucks. They're not funny. The thing a kid would get out of it is reading and you get some drawings. The stories themselves aren't that good. There's things to like. I like when they just use the silhouettes here of the figures. I like the bright colors and how the pages are constructed. The artist never gets credit for Disney comics. Carl Barks, he eventually got credit because he was better than everyone else. People were curious for 10 years who was making those Uncle Scrooge comics. I used to own a big Treasury edition with an introduction by George Lucas. That's where he got the idea for the big rolling ball in Raiders of the Lost Ark, from an Uncle Scrooge comic. All right. I have a little itch on my back. Steel Reserve. We drove to the Chevron station down the road and bought a couple of beers, and I needed to run the car. It had been sitting for 2 days. You need to turn on the car for at least 10 minutes if you don't drive it. Keeps all the fluid in the engine in good shape. Cars are not meant to sit and do nothing. They will eventually die. Cars are not meant to be lethargic, and neither are human beings. If you live a sedentary lifestyle, you have to move every day. Human beings were not designed to sit for 8 hours a day. It's not what we were built for. It can't be good for you. No way. But I smoke and drink, so that's not good for me. But I do it anyway, and I'm sitting right now. I heated up some water in the microwave. I'm going to make some mashed potatoes. That's going to be good. They recommend adding salt and butter. What do you need that stuff for? There's salt in all the food you eat, practically. Anything from a can has salt in it, and sugar, and stuff you don't even know what it is. I certainly have watched a lot of David Lynch material lately. If you want a good Twin Peaks video to watch, go to Minty Comedic Arts. Like and subscribe him. He has 500,000 viewers. I hope he gets 2 million. He's really good. Minty Comedic Arts. He made this Twin Peaks video, which is 18 minutes long, that we watched today. It's really good. It sums up the whole entire show very nicely. And he's funny. He's from Australia. Check him out. He doesn't need my help. Just a year ago, he was at 300,000 subscribers, so he's doing good. I don't know how much money he makes from YouTube. He seems to be doing okay. And he refuses to make short videos just because everyone else is doing it. He reviews movies. So if you like movies and you want to hear the Australian perspective, he's really worth listening to, and he's funny. He does funny things in his videos too. And then there's Lore Spade. He's my how can you say, guild leader in Entropia Universe. He makes Entropia Universe videos. And he's a good guy. I've been in his guild a couple years, I think, at this point. I've been kicked out of 3 guilds in Entropia Universe. Because I used to get on the game and I'd make fun of people's English. So I'd get kicked out of the society. I'd get drunk and then I'd get bored with what people would say. And they just didn't like my routine. I've been called a grammar Nazi online. Terrible term. If I make fun of someone's English, doesn't mean I'm a Nazi. People get really butthurt if you if you point out that they don't use a question mark. People who don't write well don't get the good jobs. So why don't I work a good job? Well, because I'm not that great of a writer either. You have to work at it every day. And I'm trying to write and make art. That's what's good about comic books, is you can do writing and drawing. Comic books are a great medium. I still fantasize about making comic book work. On DeviantArt, I've been doing a lot of AI art. Someone gave me a core membership, which gives me 100 prompts a month, for which I can make 300 pieces of AI art for free. My laptop is so filled with stuff, I can't make too much AI art and things until I free up some space. Okay, what do you want to talk about? I'm trying to think of what to do for my next live video. It'd be nice to just film cabin 6. Just have that as a stable shot and just talk about it. I was wondering today what kind of TV show or movie could be made about cabin 6. We're the only tenants in the cabins right now of 18 cabins. It's slow season. No one comes here in February. So we got the whole place to ourselves. That's pretty decent. And the girlfriend wants to stay an additional 5 days. So we stay for 5 days, then we go camping down the road for 1 night. And then if you do that, they let you stay for another 5 days. We get 15 days per quarter. That's a lot cheaper than a hotel room, I can tell you that. All right. Thanks for all the nice comments, love, and support. Means a lot. It helps this channel out a lot. Everyone needs encouragement. Anyone who comes on my live videos, I will subscribe to you. I try to subscribe to everyone. And if you type in comments while I'm live, I will read out your statement, what you say, and I'll respond to it. I read every single one. I'll even read the negative ones. I don't know why you'd be watching my video if you didn't like what I was doing. Okay, let's see. What's next? I always have something to talk about. Sometimes I want to talk about my friends and family. But that's not fair to them unless they want me to do it. Comic books. Let's open up Conan the King. I'm not crazy about the cover. Expect the unexpected, the new universe, coming this summer from Marvel Comics. That was a huge failure. So here's a sample of King Conan. It's hard to care. The Robert E. Howard original stories are available on YouTube through the channel Horror Babble. So if you want some good horror stories read by a British guy, go to that channel. That guy is like one of the best on YouTube. He reads both British and American authors. It's my preference for H.P. Lovecraft, for a monotoned American to read the Lovecraft stories, because I think that's how Lovecraft himself would have read his own stories. Very flat and monotoned. I've heard people on YouTube who are able to do that, and it makes the Lovecraft story really good. There's no emotional fluctuation. I don't think Lovecraft was the warmest guy you'd ever meet. He spent too much time alone. But he wrote some good stories, and a lot of them will make you laugh. They don't seem too scary. Well, except when a Cthulhu monster bites your head off or something. That never happens. There's things that's scary in the Lovecraft stories, and the scariest thing in most of them is the author. He's very literate. I've mentioned this before, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is basically plagiarizing Lovecraft. Kind of taking bits and elements of Lovecraft, putting some action adventure in. But just this idea that you have a man who is a professor at a college and then goes on adventures using his knowledge, wisdom, and experience. It sounds straight out of Lovecraft. Lovecraft at the time in 1980, he was just starting to get really well known. People had forgotten about him for years. But now Lovecraft is solidly in our culture. Let's see how we're doing on time here. 24 minutes. That's a lot of fun. So there's the front of cabin number 6. Someone requested that I sign a pie tin. I had to start doing that. My pie tins will become famous. I'll be the pie tin man. That's a role I could accept. I'm David the Pie Tin Man. That's not a bad title for the video. Alright, thanks for watching and sticking it through. Type 100 if you made it through the entire video.